Listen, we talking about practice. Not a game. We talking about practice.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs?
Come after me! I'm a man! I'm 40!
From the intersection of Highway 63 and Interstate 70, the heartland of Middle America, just a few miles south of the campus of the University of Missouri, this is what we're talking about, podcasting exclusively from LivingOnSports.com. I am, of course, Michael Spencer, joined as always by Cheston McGuire. Cheston, what up, buddy?
Hey, I'm happy to be here today. You ready to do this?
Yeah, we got some good topics today. Tell the people what's up.
All right, we're going to start off with the MLB playoffs, then we're going to go into the NFL, who is the best team right now, and then we're going to end up with college football, rehashing the first weekend of BCS rankings.
The most ridiculous rankings the most ridiculous series of weeks of rankings, I should say.
And we'll get to that later. First, we'll start with the MLB playoffs. All right, so the first game we're going to talk about, or first series rather, is the Angels versus the Yankees. What do you think about that so far?
You know, I think the Yankees are one of those teams where you like the people on the team, maybe with the exception of A-Rod, but you really don't like the team at all.
No, I agree, but I just don't see how they could be stopped. I mean, the Angels are playing them close. I mean, it's a combined 4 runs in the 3 games right now.
Yeah, I don't think they can be stopped either. And that's scary because they're playing scary good. You look at the game last night, which was game 3, and Joe Girardi's getting a lot of heat today for the way he mismanaged that series. Do you think he mismanaged that game last night?
I think he did at first when they made that pitching change. And everyone said, why are they doing that right now? He just retired the first 2 batters, no man on, nobody big was coming up. It was like Eric Ibar. I really had to wonder why he was doing that. But, I mean, they're up 2-1 in the series right now. I don't think it's going to cost them anything. It's not going to be like Grady Little with the Red Sox a few years ago.
Yeah.
Pedro in too long.
Yeah, and you look at that too, though, and you see, he went out there right to talk to Pettit, and then what does Pettit do? He gives up a home run to Vlad Guerrero.
Yeah.
And then he pulls Johnny Damon. And I don't think that, I don't know. Joe Girardi obviously knows his team a lot better than any of us do.
Right.
And you're right. I don't think it's going to cost them a series. So I think, a few days from now, it's going to be like, nobody cares. But they are pitching CeCe Sabathia tonight on 3 days rest. And if CeCe doesn't play well, if he doesn't pitch very well, then you're going to start hearing some doubters, and then the critics are really going to come out.
Yeah, even though Jerry Harrison Jr. in Game 2, he was the hero. He had that walk-off, and he was playing pretty well up until that gaff in the outfield. So, yes, he's the go to that game, but it's kind of like with Matt Holliday and the Ryan Franklin situation. He got all the heat for it, but it wasn't all his fault. They have to play better all around.
Yeah, players play, and if players don't produce, I don't care who's out there. If you're an MLB player and you're getting a contract, you need to show up and play if your manager puts you in the game, and if you don't, that should be on you.
Oh, yeah. No, I agree. What's astounding me right now in these playoffs is Alex Rodriguez. Right now, he's hitting .348 with 4 homers and 9 RBIs, only 3 Ks.
He finally decided to show up in the month of October.
Whereas in 2006 and 2007, he batted .172 with 10 Ks and 1 homer.
Yeah.
Is this a new A-Rod?
I don't know if it's it's really the old A-Rod just in the postseason. Yeah, in the postseason.
I mean, that had always been his biggest flaw. They could never produce.
Which is kind of sad that we're sitting here being like, oh, he's playing really well. Really, this is what he's been doing all along. He just hasn't ever done it in the postseason.
Right, and that's just always been his biggest knock. They've never said he wasn't a good regular season player. Not a good player. He's always been great.
Right.
But it's just always been, can he produce in the postseason? I think he's finally going to get that monkey off his back with a World Series ring this year.
We'll see. Let's not crown him champions yet.
Well, all right. Well, in the other series, we got the Phillies and the Dodgers, and the Phillies are up 3-1 already. Are you surprised?
No, not at all, because the Dodgers don't have a very good pitching staff. I like we said on here, I think we were all shocked that the Dodgers handled the Cardinals the way they did. So for the Phillies to come out and play, I mean, the Phillies are the world champions. Why is it shocking anybody that they're playing really well? They have great players on their team, and they've been there before.
No, I mean, it's not shocking that they're playing really well. I'm just shocked that the Dodgers have seemingly rolled over and died down 3-1. I mean, a lot of it's Cliff Lee, who in this series has just been outstanding. I mean, in the whole playoffs, 2-0 with a .74 ERA.
Yeah.
20 Ks. That was a great midseason trade for the Phillies. Better than Roy Halladay right now, I got to say.
But again, why are we shocked that, Ryan Howard is coming through in clutch spots?
I don't think you can be shocked by Ryan Howard.
That shouldn't be shocking.
Ryan Howard is an amazing player. I mean, they're doing all. There's really no knock you have on them right now, except for Chase Utley's 2 pretty big errors that have cost them a couple games, but even still, they made it through Colorado with the error, and they're probably going to make it through Los Angeles tonight with the error, and they'll be just fine.
Yeah, I think the Phillies and the Yankees is going to be a really, really good series.
Yeah, I mean, the Dodgers definitely had the advantage with this pitching staff and even a better 1 through 4 lineup, I think. I mean, you got Jeter, you got Teixeira, and you got A-Rod, which is fantastic, but you got Rollins, Howard, and Utley.
Yeah.
With Victorino, I mean, that's a tough one.
Yeah, it should be a good matchup. You know, the thing I can't stand about postseason games, they go on forever.
Oh, man. Angels, Yankees went 13 innings, and the next time they went 11 innings.
Ever. You know, and it's like not the fact that they're going 13 innings, the fact that 13 innings is taking 5 hours.
Oh, yeah, and the biggest problem with baseball, I mean, this is the things that needs to change in general, is that when the relief pitchers come in, why do they get to throw on the mound for about 5 to 10 minutes? That is a huge waste of time. When you're a backup quarterback, you don't get to sit there and throw some reps to your wide receivers. You don't get to shoot some free throws at the line. You get to sub in there.
Right.
You just come in and play. Baseball is the only one where they give you this ridiculous, and then the timeouts are in there. I don't know.
You know, and the meetings at the mound that go on forever, and it's like, come on, let's get on with the freaking game.
There needs to be a limit on how many pickoff moves and how many times you can step out of the box, and I mean, almost a no-mar rule of how many things you can adjust between each swing.
I don't think you can put a limit on the number of pickoffs because that really gives the runners an advantage.
Not as pickoff, but you got to do something more where you got to have a speedier delivery there.
There's got to be something. Something has to be done because that is taking forever. Now, what about these botched calls? There was another one last night in the Phillies game. It didn't cost them, but Utley at second base, clearly the guy was out because Utley did a great job of blocking the base, but they called him safe.
Yeah, I mean, all postseason there's been a problem with these blown calls, and really all season, and that's why in the regular season they had the challenge camera for home runs. And I think you got to bring it around for more calls in baseball. Maybe not out at first because that would just take forever. Every single one would be contested on there. But maybe like football, where a coach or a manager gets a couple challenges a game on pickoffs and thrown out at second type things.
It's one of those things where you have the technology, you might as well use it. And who are you hurting? Sure, the games take a little longer, but they're already taking forever, so it really doesn't matter.
And if you cut down on those other things.
Exactly. And if it's the difference between calling the game right and, you know, one out could be the difference between who wins a game and who loses. And if it's really that going to be that big of a situation, why not use the technology that you have?
No, I agree with. They completely should do it for that. But do you think they should also carry it over for strikes and balls?
No, I think strikes and balls gets a little carried away. I think having the human element there is still good, but I really would like to see it for outs. You know, and like you said, maybe just a challenge situation. Not every play, because that like you said would get a little carried away, and then these 5-hour games would go on to 10-hour games. But what's wrong with having if the guy thinks he's out, go ahead, coach, throw the challenge flag, throw something out of the dugout. It's not going to hurt. It hasn't hurt football.
No, I think it's really made football better. I mean, it's a strategic thing right there. I mean, people are questioning when you use it, when you don't. And I like the use of it now in football, and I think it would really help baseball.
You know, and you do the same thing you do with football, too. If it's inconclusive, you overturn it. If it's not inconclusive, you leave it the way it is.
Right. I think that's the best system, and each manager gets 3 a game. You get all 3, then you get a 4th, kind of like in football. You get the 2, you get those 2 right, you get 3.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the question then becomes, what is your penalty if you lose a challenge?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, do you stick them with an out?
I mean, that's the thing. They're already out, assuming that's your challenge.
Right. And that's the other thing I don't like about baseball. There's not enough penalties for guys who do stuff wrong.
Now, baseball is probably the least amount of changing in-game rules in its 100 and some odd year existence, which is interesting considering how far it's come.
Something needs to be done. Dwell on that, if you will, while we take a break. We're going to come back with the NFL. The Broncos, surprisingly, now 6-0. They join the ranks of the Colts and the Saints as the only undefeated team.
Vikings.
Look who finally got a win this weekend. Mid-Missouri, you're not as bad as you thought you were. It's the Living on Sports podcast. We'll be back.